So can we start now?
Yeah, go ahead, Satish.
Yeah. Welcome to all. Seems this is our first group for SAP friends. We wanted to we created this group to share or discuss our knowledge. So every people will have some strengths and weakness. So just we want to share our knowledge to uh, to make all in one line like that. That is our intention to start this group. As of that, I think we thought of discuss some important topics. Normal FICO, I think most of the people we are about we are aware, and we might have worked on the years. But nowadays, I think new topics like Central Finance or S4 HANA Finance or SAP New Asset Accounting, BRF Plus, RAR, or customer vendor integration with S4 HANA with the S4 HANA concepts, and the same like BRF Plus with the for the output type management. These are the new topics. So very people have some idea, and that is the reason we wanted to start with the one of the key topic called Central Finance. Even though I don't have the much experience, but only I did one POC in my previous company. But we completed. We are able to connect one non-SAP system with SAP, and we are able to replicate the postings.
Satish, just one, sorry to bother you. Did you start the recording?
I started the sir. I already started the recording.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
So yeah. So that is the reason. Just I wanted to took this central finance topic to give some overview. I think maybe most of most of the guys in our 9 people also have some idea. But even though I wanted to give some additional idea, even though if you have some information, at the same time, one of my friend Naga has shared in the group of the certification material. Seems like it is around 200 pages, and it has the step-to-step configuration procedures, and what are the things need to be do, and what are the notes we have to implement before implement of central finance, everything. At the same time, it is very confidential, and don't be with you. Please don't share with others. That is our request, and that is our request. So this week actually I thought of I am taking the central finance, and next week topic is RAR, the revenue accounting reporting, and at the same time revenue account reporting will take care by the Nageswar Raju, I think, who is also working for Apple through TCS, and he has the around 4 to 5 years of vast knowledge on RAR, and he worked in the Microsoft, so he knows that RAR complete process, and in the converging invoice and RAR with BRF plus. So what is the difference in normal regular revenue recognition and RAR? What are the major differences, and which boxes, whether it is in the RMCA or ECC, so where it could be used, what is the additional benefits you're going to use, like he will be covering in the next week. So that is the one, and third week we need to identify the topics instead of the regular topics. If please share your inputs and thoughts, what you wanted to have the information. At the same time, if you wanted to share any knowledge which you have, that is also welcome. So we will discuss after this one, that also what to do for the next coming weeks, that we will discuss. So this is the first Central Finance. Central Finance is one of the new application which launched around in the 2014, but in the 2015 onwards only it gained some popularity. At the same time, that lot of technical glitches are there for implementation. For if you say normal differences is normal SAP implementation, you need not to have much basis help or technical help. Normal, they will implement the one system, and we will create the projects and we will take care. But central finance is the separate box. It is not only the functional application, it's purely technical application. Majorly, without basis consultant, without proper basis consultant, we cannot go ahead, because a lot of implementation notes we need to be we need to be installed based upon the business requirement. So, for example, if the client wanted the asset applications in the central finance, that aspect to OSS needs to implement it. Like that, a lot of scenarios are there. Like at the same time, what type of application deployment you are using, whether it is on-premise, on-premise. Some nodes are there. If it is a cloud, some nodes are there. If it is a hybrid application, separate nodes need to be there. So we need to follow a proper guide given by the SAP before implementing the central finance. So just we'll go through. I have prepared just a 50-page keynote to give some overview and what are the areas central finance will support and what are the areas central finance won't support as of now. Maybe in future they will support. So that's the areas I have prepared with to give some overview. Yeah, and again, once again, it is not the configuration document to give some overview about the application. That is the only concept of this presentation. Okay, this is the I have covered this. These are the topics here. What is the S4 Central Finance, and what is S4 HANA and features, and Central Finance deployable options, and what are the prerequisites for implementation of Central Finance, what are the key features of Central Finance, and right now who are the clients are currently using in Central Finance. We'll see. Central Finance is nothing but in a centralized application. Central Finance is an S4 HANA based independent system to replicate the FI and CO accounting postings from multiple systems for consolidated reporting. For example, let us take a big company. For example, if in some countries they might be using accounting software, some companies they might be using SAP, in some countries they might be using Oracle, in some countries they may not be using Oracle, maybe they might be using some Excel file or something for the reporting purpose like that. But when you want to do the consolidated reporting, it is very difficult for the companies to bring all the data from across the globe and prepare one consolidated sheet. Is very difficult, and it is a very time-taking process, because currency needs to be validation, and the financial year needs to be validated, and the GL accounts need to be validated, and various business processes need to be validated. It is a very time-taking, and it is a difficult process for the financial team to collect, gather, process, and prepare a financial statement even end of the month or end of the quarter or end of the year. That is very difficult. That is the reason SAP came up with one central finance application. So this system can be connected with. This system can be connected with any system, whether it could be a non-SAP system. You can pass the data to the central finance. If it is SAP, you can pass it down. Even non-SAP, from Oracle, any system, you can pass the data to the central finance. Let us assume that in India and Asia, most of the people, the small medium companies, they will use that Tally. So if you connect the bridge between central finance and Tally, so if you post any document in Tally, automatically in the real time, it will get replicated in central finance with on the mode called trigger mode. Whenever you post or save the application, that entry in your Tally, which is your non-central finance system, automatically that entry will get replicated. It will not repost. It will get same entry will get replicated in the central finance. Like so any application. Whatever the application central finance supports, those postings can be replicated to central finance. Not only posting, for example, if you want to transfer the historical data, even though those data also can be replicated here, or you wanted only balances for the previous periods or previous fiscal years, that also can be possible. Like, for example, if you have the Tally in India and your global company is in US and they are using S4 HANA. So Tally and S4 HANA Finance is a entirely two different applications. So Tally is not an, I think normal Tally is not an ERP, but S4 HANA Finance is an ERP with advanced application. So even though you can provide the S4 HANA Finance flavor to the your tally posting by replicating or by connecting the two set final application. That means even if you can, as of now, as of with current 1909 setup, I think 15 various systems you can connect with central finance. All 15 non-central finance application postings, by entering the central finance system, it can get the central finance flavor. Like what are the central finance flavors, like new GL ledger, the new GL ledger, and AC Docker posting in S4 HANA. So whatever the S4 HANA features, these replicated entries can be converted into the S4 HANA entries. So that is also one of the advantage. And multiple systems. I think if I'm not wrong, 15 systems, I guess maximum we can connect to central finance. If I'm not wrong, if it is there, please correct me. So that is the one of the major advantage. So it's a real-time data, no need to worry. And at the same time, if you wanted to correct it, you can correct it. Not only transactions, you can even it master data also will be replicated, but that need to be done with the several settings, mappings you have to do. For example, now you have created an entry with cost center 100. So cost center 100 is a new entry in your non-AP system. But when you replicate the system, that 100 cost center is not available in the center finance system. So when you do the replication, system will check whether these master objects are properly mapped in the central finance system. If 100 is not mapped in the central finance system, system will first create the cost object or GL account. Then it will post the entry. So if there is an issue, we have a application called AIF, Application Integration Framework. One AIF, it is the error handling application. So you can see that error, you can monitor the error log, and you can adjust it. And the errors can be assigned to users also. So that lot of functions are there. So a lot of functions are there. So I am going to this. So this current S4 HANA current central finance is supports only S4 HANA. I think before years 2014 or 2015, when they're developing, it is supporting ECC. Now S4 the central finance supports only S4 HANA. It doesn't support CCC, but you can with the central finance, you can integrate any non-SAP or SAP, even as S4 HANA system also. But central finance should be S4 HANA only. So that is the reason. And at the same time, I'm not going to cover what is the S4 HANA. We know that what are the S4 HANA features. That's just simply I wrote down around 5 to 6 important features. So especially SAP uses HANA as a database instead of traditional database is Oracle. HANA is SAP's own database. It can be very faster, and the same HANA provides the database services, and we know that it stores the in-memory database. Instead of storing the data in hard disk, this HANA stores the entry in in-memory, and from in-memory to sending the data to the server is very easy. At the same time, data storing won't take much space like earlier, because it is using the granular reporting. So analytics and data processing with the HANA database, we can create one number of analytics, and we can do the data processing. And application development and deployment is very easy. Like we can Fiori application we can develop using as a HANA as a database, and multiple deployments are available as for HANA, which is on-premise. Like on-premise is that server will be in our premise in our control. So if, for example, who are using SAP using everyone will have some critical data, some important data. So instead of storing on the cloud or someone's system, we can keep our data in our system, and that is in our control. When you want to move your production changes, or when you want to implement your OSS nodes or updates, that is purely on your control. The other one is cloud. That is cloud is subscription model service. So that is useful for small and medium companies where they can't afford for the server cost, SAP implementation cost, or regular maintenance cost. They can go with cloud. So a lot of Amazon, Google, I think a lot of service providers are available for that one. Next is hybrid. So hybrid is the combination of on-premise and cloud. So important applications, very important applications and key information you can put on premise, and maybe non-important applications you can put on cloud. So that is purely your option, that is depend upon your requirement and your financial capability. Next, data access, integration, and quality. Data access, integration, quality. That means data is a very data available in S4 HANA, and a lot of the tables in S4 HANA has been removed. Mainly indexes tables has been removed, since all the data, if all the financial data is available in one table. It's called the AC docker. Earlier, whenever you create one accounting document is getting stored in almost around 30, 15 to 14 tables, like BSIS, BSAS, and BSCG, BKP, multiple tables. And if you want the COPA information, again you have to open the C9 table, and cost information, the cost different tables. So instead of that, if you want to build any report, it is a time-taking process and very difficult to bring and collect the data from multiple tables. Instead of that, all the financial data, whatever the use, like SAP FI or GL or AP, Asset, CO, COPA, Material Ledger, all the data is available in one table called AC docker. So that is one of the biggest advantage for the. So you can simply access the whatever the data you can get. At the same time, you can easily integrate the data, and the data would be very quality. And at the same time, in operations also, they have a cockpit. The SAP HANA cockpit is there. So if you want to implement, they'll be providing the implementation cockpit and migration cockpit and deployment cockpit. So conversion cockpit. So a lot of cockpits are there. So just to how to follow the guide, like when we configure any application, how we follow the SPRO structure, similar like structure is available in the cockpit. So just we need to follow that. And when we're doing that, they will give you an error. So it will provide what is the solution. Just we need to follow the very sequential step, and the security, and lot of multi engines are available in S4 HANA to process process that data very speedily. Not only this one, I think a lot of additional options are there, but I have covered a very high level understanding. So this is the one of the landscape in the central finance. So what are the systems you can integrate, and what are the compatible and what are none are the compatible? Like so, yeah, even SAP ECC or S4 HANA, you can integrate with central finance and other SAP ERP like business one. Some other systems like those are belongs to SAP ERP for the business one, something. Those also you can connect with central finance, and non-SAP like Tally or maybe any other ERP systems which has the finance, you can connect it. And in old systems, maybe SAP 2.1 or 2.3 or 3.0, those are that they're using not the traditional databases, very non-traditional databases. Also, you can be connected, and very old systems, maybe before than Tally also you can be connected. But thing is one thing, but world systems and SAP World 3.0 systems to integrate with central finance is a very difficult process, because central finance is very advanced, whereas SAP 3.0 and world systems, not most of the compatible. So integration with central finance, or if a SAP or the source systems and central finance is a target systems, if both systems are SAP systems, it is very easy and it is very fast to implement you can use the replicate the postings. If it is a non-SAP system, very old system, it takes time and data mapping, integration, and it is very difficult while doing the configuration. At the same time, lot of OSS nodes might be, or other technical tools might be needed to integrate the multiple systems. But if the source systems are SAP systems, then it is very easy, since in source systems you'll have the document type like number ranges, GL accounts. Maybe we will use the similar terminology and similar applications in Central Finance also. But in the world systems, maybe they may document type or that function may not be available. But by doing some workarounds, we can bring that. But it is a time-taking process. Okay, so this is the total landscape. That it is the total landscape. Okay, in left side it is a SAP source system. It has the FI and CO documents, and right, so we can see that. So the in between the non-SAP systems and central finance system, we have a server called SAP LT. It is called SAP Landscape Transformation Replication Server. It is the main engine. It is the it is the only application to collect the data from source and process the data, refine the data, and send it to the central finance. So SAP application server is a server. Even though you can implement it in any box. Even you can implement the SAP LT application in the source also, or in the central finance also, or you can keep it as a separate box also. But most of the companies, they will keep it as a separate box instead of adding into the central finance or in the non-SAP systems. So the process would work like that. So for example, if you post any financial entry in a source system, so it will work as a trigger mode. Whenever you save or submit, the trigger, whenever you complete the document in that source system, that when you complete the transaction, automatically that entry will come into the landscape transformation server. Then it will check the whether the entries, when that mapping or integration properly handled or not, and then it will post. Like if you see the central, then after the entry received to central landscape transformation server, the entry will comes into the central finance accounting interface. It is a separate engine. Then it will check whether the business mapping. For example, if you passed the accounting entry in non-SAP system, the GL account is 100. If you want to keep the GL account is 100 in the central finance, it is your choice. Or you want to transfer the 100, or you want to make here is 1000. The same GL account is 1000. Then that mapping has to be done. So system will check, okay, I received this document. So what are the available documents? First, posting dates, document dates, number range, currency, the GL account, where the cost object or internal order or cost center, whether the debit and credit, or any other cost objects like a WB settlement or any things are there. Okay, so these are the elements of 10 or 11. Whether these 10 or 11 are mapped in my central finance accounting engine, yes, available, yes, then it will check whether cost objects or master data has been mapped or not. Then if mapped, it will go. If it mapped, it is not mapped, it will go to the error handling. So like that. So the engine, the central finance accounting interface engine or business mapping engine will cross-check every item which comes from the source system, whether it's properly mapped or not. And at the same time, at the same time, you first, before replicating itself, SAP S4 HANA system, the basic configuration you need to be completed, like company codes, what are the company code in source system, what are the company code in the S4 HANA Central Finance system. So both systems, both cost objects, both GL accounts, and needs to be mapped, and initial testing needs to be done. Okay, then, so even though sometimes we will get the errors, though that error handling, I said that, as I said earlier, it's called AIF. That application interface, it is a log monitor, and you can see what is the error, then you can correct it, and you can repost it. Then if everything is mapped from business mapping, it will come to the internal accounting interface. Again, it will cross-check all the things are fine, and make sure that everything is correct. After that, it will post one consolidated entry in S4 SAP HANA based central finance system. It called universal journal entry. As we said, universal journal entry is one document entry which contains all the information, financial document information, So CO document information, asset document information, all the document information, and so universal journal entry that anyway you can see in the AC docker table. Okay, so that's okay. So SAP landscape transformation server mediates the collect the data from non-SAP systems and process and sends the data to the simple finance S4 HANA finance system, and some internal checks and validations will be happen, and after that it will get posted into the S4 Central Finance system. Okay, so is it fine, or any questions are there up to here?
No, good, Satish. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the Universal Journal? So Universal Journal is the book of original entry for business transactions in financial accounting and controlling. It contains the journal entries generated by these transactions and thus represent the single source of truth. Okay. So Universal Journal or single source of truth relatively same. So the integrity of financial data is guaranteed by the design, eliminating the reconciliation effort between FI and CO. Earlier, FI data is available stores in FI tables, CO data is available stores in CO tables, and COPA data stores in COPA tables. So to reconcile in month end or whenever you require, it is a difficult task. But now all the data is available in one table and one source. It is easily get the data from one table. So easily you can reconcile, and easily developers also can easily build the reports. And yeah, so if you say that line items are written only once, keeping the memory footprint at minimum and optimizing system throughout the rates. If you see in normal ECC, when you post the one line item, the data stores in some information stores in BKPF, some information stores in BSCG, some information stores in BSIs, some information BSES. Like same data might be replicated into the multiple tables based upon the scenario or process. Now it is completely eliminated. All the information with with minimum line items it will be right, and at the same time totals are calculated on the fly now when needed. Earlier the totals are available in one table, and indexes are available in one table. Now in S4 HANA, those tables, index tables and total tables have been removed. So that means in S4 HANA, the data, the simplified data, all the information, and the will come. So the memory storage is very less. So we can store the more data, and with the available data, we can using for our reporting or period and closing purpose. It is very easy, very fastly we can complete our month-end activities. Yeah. So like I said, that the Universal Journal collects the data from various components, various GL or various sub-components, like a subledger, subledgers. And if you see that the GL data is going to some Universal Journal, COPA data going to the Universal Journal, and CO data is going to Universal Journal, asset token data and material ledger data. So all this, all about at the same time, even PS data will go to the same thing, and even material cost estimation data also, it will go to the Universal Journal. If any, when you do the price cost estimate, standard estimate, if there is any accounting entry is there, so that data will come into the Universal Journal along with the respective entries. So it provides the consolidated comprised entry in the Universal Journal. So these are the Central Finance features. So it replicated financial information in separate S4 HANA powered Central Finance system, which allows consolidated reporting easy and fast. Because all the all the across the globe financial systems, financial data is available in one system in S4 HANA powered application. So it's very easy for the reporting purpose based upon your requirement. And at the same time, you can create the multiple ledgers here. So you can do it. That also you can do. And the multiple currencies, you can use it for your reporting purpose. Whatever the S4 HANA features, it will be applicable for your non-SAP, your source system entries also. And financial posting is source system will post to Central Finance automatically without scheduling any jobs. Automatically, there will be no schedule. It will be called as a trigger mode. So whenever the entry triggers there, automatically posts here. And if any error is there, that will be captured in the error handling monitor system. So you can monitor the system. And at the same time, it is any non-SAP, non-ERP system, and ERP system can be integrated with central finance system. So any system, it can be integrated with the central finance system, and the real-time replication. So whenever the data entry posted in the source system, it will get be replicated in the central finance system, real-time replication, and simplified reporting, and a single source of consolidation. You need not to, like yearly, you need not to use for multiple data for the consolidation. All the data available in one system, so you can simply do the consolidation. And at the same time, non-respect to migration to S4 HANA. Anyway, we have the S4 HANA, the S4 HANA based SLT server. So that server will take care of the collection of the data from source, and it will send to the S4 HANA powered system. So there will be no disruption between source and target systems. And not only central finance, we have this another application called central payment, central tax reporting, and central receivables also there in this application. We will discuss later on this one. Central payment, for example, I don't have much information but about central payment, but it likes that we can do the payment centrally for non-SAP systems and entries also, like that. Do that one. This is also some additional pieces. I think I have given some more information. So you can use the central finance to harmonize master data and replicate posting. Like I said, that whenever you create a new GL account or new cost objects, so that also, if the entries are not available in S4 HANA system, central finance system, those also first created, then the entry will be get posted. So master data as well as transaction data, both will be get replicated into the central finance system. And you can map the master data from several source systems to harmonize the master data in central finance system, either manually or using SAP MDG is a separate license for. Like if you see here, this is the SAP Master Data Governance System. If you purchase under SAP Central Finance System, I think you need to pay some separate license to get the Master Data Governance System to migrate and manage the master data here automatically. Otherwise, without master data migration governance system also, you can create your own data. But if you have the data, it easily, you can simply, otherwise you need to prepare and you need to upload to the S4 Central Finance system, and you need to manually map. Otherwise, only you have to do the mapping. Automate that master data governance system brings the data from master data. Otherwise, you need to do. But you can possible. Without master data governance also, you can implement your central finance system. For enabling the transfer of data between your source system and central finance, you need to maintain mapping that defines the relationship between data in the source system, SAP system, and data in central finance. Mapping is used during the initial load and the day-to-day transaction data transferring to central finance. So anything mapping is mandatory for in the target system. So you need to map the what are the GL accounts, what are the cost centers, what is the document type to be posted in central finance when you receive the data from non-SAP system. For example, if you are connecting the data from some non-SAP system, if you don't have the document type in the system, but in S4 HANA, document type is mandatory. So you need to mandate, like these GL accounts, if you post any GL accounts, it need to be posted to the SA, or if the amount is this one. So you can create your own rules to map the field. So I will show you the screens also, how to for mapping screens, how you can map it. So that mapping need to be done. The number ranges need to be done. Also, everything you need to be mapped. And at the same time, profitable segment data of accounting document can also be transferred to central finance system. AC docker is updated with profitability document number, and the reporting on PA can be achieved in central finance system. For example, if you are using a source system as a SAP system, and if your target system is a central finance system, it is very easy to get replicate and configure the system. For example, if your source system is a non-SAP system, but you wanted to create a COPA document for non-SAP system entry in a central finance, that is also possible. But your source system doesn't have the COPA document, but But in Central Finance system, you can get created as a copy document also for the single system. At the same time, if you want to add some additional information which is not available in source system, but you want some additional information in Central Finance system, that also possible. So you can add it. For example, when you post a accounting document reference assignment. So if you want to pass some information uh, for those fields, you can write a body and what need to be populated. And by implementing that body, it is possible to uh, add your own custom information to those fields. That is also possible. At the same time, the intercompany reconciliation with the Central Finance for AR and AP replicated into Central Finance. Intercompany reconciliation can access these receivables and payables directly from the Central Finance system. ICR is compatible with the Central Finance system. Okay, the ICR intercompany reconciliation also can be possible in the Central Finance system. And the document relationship browser. Using the document relationship browser, you can see the document flow of an FI document and can access the link information in origin and source system. For example, if you post a document in source system, what is the maybe the document number might be 100. So what is the document, or what is the replicated document number in your Central Finance system? It could be 1,000 or it could be 10,000 number. So that entire link where at what time that entry got posted in the source system, if it is any errors, who handled that errors, when it again reposted after the error got cleared, or when it got posted, the complete link you can see in the document relationship browser. So that is also possible. And the only thing is the whole Central Finance system only collects the data. Again, it don't send the data back to the it won't send much data back to the source system. I think if a source system is SAP and target system is Central Finance, I think only very small information Central Finance system sends back to the source system. That also if source system is SAP, but very limited data is sent back to the source system, as of my knowledge. And all documents related to the transactions are available in the document relationship browser, provided the source system is in SAP. I think the document relationship browser is a additional function. Maybe that application need to be used to know what is the status when it get posted, and whether it's posted or not, to see in the source system. Yeah, so these are the replication scenarios. So these are the scenarios Central Finance supports as of now with the 1909. So as I prepared this PPT based upon the 1909 features, maybe it may be allowed in the for other features also. It may be allowed in the maybe upcoming periods. So FICO replication, only CO replication, and cost object replication, like cost center, like it is in our master. Cost center master, profit center master, internal order master, like that, at commitment replication, and profit center posting replication, and material cost estimate replication, and the activity rates replication, and the FICO cost objects change replication. For example, if you change any in source system, if you change any cost center values, like some activity period or user responsible, or if you change of the cost subject name, that automatically will be replicated in source system also. Not only master transaction data, even master data changes also, it will be get replicated in Central Finance system. So these are as of now, these are the postings get excluded. Maybe in the coming versions, it may be included. As of now, those are the COFI postings and clearings, year-end closing postings where the reference transaction is AWTP is GLYEC, FI clearing documents as part of the initial load, but ongoing it is possible. Clearing transfer as part of initial load, but ongoing it is possible. Recurring entries, sample documents, barcode documents, noted documents, balance of any carry forward items, and the closing operations won't support. These transactions won't support. And even though if you did, the system won't replicate into the Central Finance system. What are the other processes in the Central Finance? The Central Finance for FI and CO cost object application, majorly FI and CO, Central Payment, Central Tax Reporting, and Central Projects WBS reporting. Like, for example, if your source system is SAP, and if you're using the WBS element and for your project purpose, those can be managed like in Central Project System, like in the Central Finance, one of the component tool. Yeah. So what I said, yes, what is the SAP LT replication servers and what it do? So as I said earlier, the SAP replication server is the linkage between Central Finance and non-AP system. So SAP LT replication server collects the data from source systems and feeds the data into the corresponding Central Finance accounting interface engine to replicate entries in S4 HANA Central Finance system. Okay, so it collects and feeds the data into the relevant interface to process the data. So SAP that SLT replication is a trigger-based data replication method in HANA system. It is a perfect solution for replicating real-time data or schedule-based replication from SAP and non-SAP sources. It has SAP LT replication server, which takes care of all trigger requests. That replication server can be installed as a standalone server or can run on any SAP system with SAP NetWeaver 7.0 or above. As I said that it can either if you wanted to install separate or if you wanted to install an existing box, it can be possible. And there is a trusted RFC connection between HANA database and ECC transaction system, which enables a trigger-based data replication in HANA system environment. In the following image, you can see SAP HANA SLT replication scenario for real-time data replication. So you need to, that a technical team, the basis team will create the RFC connections between the source and the target system. That is important one. Okay. So what is the advantage of it?
Satish, one question. So yes, SLT can be installed or can be added in source system as well as in the central finance system, right?
Correct. But only thing is the subject to correction is they're saying that it can run on any SAP system with SAP NetWeaver 7.0 to above. So anyway, non-SAP systems won't have the NetWeaver. So it won't possible. But only thing is, if your source systems also NetWeaver enabled, then then you can SAP SLT server can be load on your source system also. But the condition is your source system should be NetWeaver should be 7.02 or above.
Yeah. One more question is Central Finance System. Central Finance System only receives the accounting documents, right? It will not bring any other than accounting documents.
No. Like your sales orders or production orders or purchase orders, no. But your invoices, because it is a financial entity, it will collect. So that's it collects only financial transactions, not like sales orders or production orders or any other orders it won't bring.
So next question. So if we have a AC DOCA A, so now in the AC DOCA A we will get the entries from all the ledgers.
Correct.
I mean all sub ledgers, AP, AR, material ledger, COPA, and everything.
Correct.
So it will bring the documents from the ECC or non-SAP system, ECC system, and it will prepare according to the document flow of those documents and add the entry into the AC DOCA, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
In that case, can't we configure to get some elements of the data from the purchase orders, for example?
Yes.
Can we?
No, sir. As of now, that has not given. Purely Central Finance is only for the.
No, when you can bring something from the outside systems, outside system, some data can be brought in. Why not from it doesn't know from the outside system whether it is accounting document or system doesn't know. You're right. Am I right?
No, sir. That means just can you give an example, sir?
I have some Oracle system. I'm just bringing some data from Oracle system. and it is, I can add it into Central Finance.
But it should be the source document should be the financial document. Like that document should have the debit and credit, and that should have some.
Yeah, I have the debit credit. It doesn't matter for this SAP system. Central Finance doesn't need to know whether it has whether it is accounting document or not. I map it that as debit and credit, and I bring it. So
Yeah,
what way to have?
yeah, that's right. If you are able to map from the source system data, then if the mapping rules are met, then you can do it.
So same thing from purchase order, I should be able to map.
No, purchase order is completely there. That is
System. Okay, we'll talk on this. I'll make a note of this. Basically, I want to investigate this.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sir, wherever the accounting entry is generated, those documents only possible to bring to the Central Finance. In the purchasing order case, there will not be any accounting entry.
Yeah, that is a debatable. I was looking at those what was excluded. We'll talk about that little later.
Yeah. So, sir, just 1 second. Like the purpose of Central Finance is to consolidate all the financial entries of other systems, both SAP and non-SAP. So here, like when we are getting data from other non-SAP systems or other systems, SAP or non-SAP systems, we have to send the data like company code, document type, and debit and credit GL account, other cost objects, etc. So when you want to send purchase order, it won't come into F5.
Yes.
So like the purpose of Central Finance is only to consolidate or else bring the all SAP and non-SAP data into Central Finance to leverage all the functionalities provided by S4 HANA.
Fully agree on that. I fully agree on that, but I have one requirement to bring some data for, say, doing some sort of logical analysis. From that purpose, I wanted to bring some data. It may not be automatically replicated, but I believe there would be some provision to do it. Let us see that once again.
Okay, sir. We'll park that one. We will explore if it is possible or not.
Made a note of it.
Yeah.
I'll explain. I will explore that.
Yeah. Okay. So to bring the data from source system to target system, anyway, you need to have that RFC connections that your technical team will take care of by maintaining creating the RFC connection and assignments and managing and giving numbers to them, that logical numbers, everything they will take care there. And some other advantage that I think it is also covered, I think. Yeah, so it is also provides a data transformation and filtering capability before loading into S4 HANA. So as I said, the SAP SLT server doesn't load whatever the data received from source system. It will filter the data based upon the certain rules, whether this document is a relevant document or not. So after the filtering only, it will send the proper data to the S4 HANA system. And it allows the real-time data replications, replicating only relevant data to HANA from SAP and non-SAP systems. And it is fully integrated with the HANA systems and HANA Studio. And this is the SAP SLT server. So just you can see the screen, the SAP system data source, non-SAP system data source. Then in the SAP HANA system inside, it will do the read engine and the mapping and transformation engine and the write engine. It reads the line item, it reads the collected data from non-SAP, and it checks the mappings, whatever the relevant mappings, and it will convert it to do the transformation, and it will do the write engine. And after that, it sends the data to the S4 Central Finance system. And anyway, S4 Central Finance system, it will be part of the S4 HANA Studio and SAP HANA database, in-memory database anyway. So it will post to the in-memory database. So that is the total application server. Just it is a mediator. It is a server is mediating between the non-SAP, that source systems and target systems, and process the data. Yeah. So what are the prerequisites for Central Finance? You should have one or more financial systems, one or more source systems, That means, and multiple nodes implementation Central Finance system in order to replicate. So as I said, in normal FICO implementation, we don't need much basis help while doing our configuration. Very rare cases we go whether for the role access or maybe if you want to do. But here, if you want to do the Central Finance configuration alone, it won't possible because 90% of the work reliable on the basis, because based upon the scenario they have to implement the OSS nodes. At the same time, while choosing the relevant version, SAP provides the what are the nodes we need to use, and it will give you that. And so we need to check with them. And at the same time, while doing, they have a path in the Central Finance system what to do, what are the configurations need to do for the source systems, where are the RFC connections, everything. So you need to do one by one, and sure, definitely mandatory you need a basis consultant help in order to complete the configuration and managing the application. And the baseline configuration need to be completed. General prerequisites like key mapping, value mapping, cost object mapping. Key mapping, value mapping, what are the cost object mapping, we will see in the next topics. Those are the total 3 types of mapping we need to do. Like and SAP SLT server setup also need to be ready for real-time application, and AAF setup completion for error handling. So these are the phases. I think around 6 or 7 phases are there. These phases need to be completed for the completion of that one. Phase one is we need to install the latest support packs and apply the relevant nodes. Will take care by the system administrator, nothing but a business consultant. So phase 1 you need not to worry about one. So they will take care. Next phase 2 is setting a setup systems. Setups target source systems, or it could be source systems or target systems. And this is one of the business function called FINS_CFIN. So first the basis consultant has to be activate this business function, and he has to configure the error handling and set up the RFC connection between the destination for the source systems and the logical system for source system and target system, and maintain of RFC assignments and assignment or RFC assignment, and check the logical system assignment and Central Finance, and activate a tax consistency check. That these checks, I think the second complete phase 1 and phase 2 will take care by the basis administrator. Third one is general preparations called carry out the customization settings for FICO and create master data in Central Finance. Should take care by FICO consultant. This step completely creation of master data, creation of organizational data company code, if your cost centers or profit centers or internal orders or WB elements or tax codes, that baseline configuration number ranges and everything you have to take care that. Application consultant has to be taken care of. Fourth one is mapping. That defining the technical systems of all systems, defining mapping actions, mapping entities, key mappings, value mappings, cost object mapping. We take care by the FICO consultant. Like what is your source systems, and if what is the source system? If a source system GLO code is 100, and what could be the relevant GLO code number in the target system? Whether it's going to be same one, you want to maintain a 100 number, or you wanted to maintain a 6-digit number.
That is just time check 9:08 right now.
Yes, sir.
We have another 7 minutes to go, and then questions and discussions about the other things, whatever is to be done for the next.
So we wanted to complete it by 9:15.
Yeah, that's what we discussed in the
earlier. We don't, but anyway we have started.
Yeah, try to catch it up to 9:15. Then we'll take a 1 minute to break to talk about everybody. Then we'll get back.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
So complete phase 4, we need to be the function consultant need to be mapping. So then the phase 5, the configuration of SLT. SLT anyway technical object, he will take care of that one. And phase 6 is the testing, initial load. Like what are the logical systems and clearing and substitution accounts, and make configuration and settings in source system, prepare and load for test system. You want to test some data before doing the goal production data. You need to test it, and you need to do the multiple testing called smoke testing and cost object testing and simulation testing, and it will you need to do in the phase 6. And basis consultant and function consultant has to be take care about that action. The 20th is after initial load. Now it got the real-time data, and after that one, you can compare and analyze the data whether it's coming or not. And if you need, you can do the initial load n number of times. You can delete the initial load and you can process the initial load. So what are the n number of times you can do the initial load? So until you get satisfaction. And after that, you can do the real data. You can use the real data, and these are the normal, I think, high level understanding of that one. I think this is the same steps I have covered in the phase 2. These are in the phase 2. Same systems I have documented in another way. So this is the initial load. Initial load is used to load the source production data to central finance system where the source data was not replicated for some time. For example, you can understand this initial load in not the production data. It could be the production data, or it could be the not production data, or it could be the any test data. It could be the any test. For example, your financial year is January to December, but your central finance system you're doing in from the July 1st. So in order to send the data from January to June data, you can use the initial load option, and you can send it. Either you can send it the historical data by document line items, or you can send it by only balances. That is possible. So initial loader could be test data, or initial loader could be the pre-production data, or it could be production data. So it is your decision to do that one. But it is recommended to transfer only balances for the previous periods. In each replication of each historical document is very tedious jobs and time consuming. So that even if you want to do historical document line item by line item in your target system, it is also possible, but it is a very tedious job, and at the same time it is business decision based upon the source system document count. And initial load sequence, initial load for cost objects. First of all, that initial master data needs to be set up in source system, and extract the data for initial load, then monitor the data extraction, post initial load, monitor postings, and initial load for CO postings. Not only FI posting, for example, we know that CO postings like cost center, the cost center allocations within the CO documents, like in SAP. Those also it could not be the FI document, but it can be the only CO document also. That also we can post it. We can post FI documents. We can replicate CO documents. Either you can replicate FI and CO documents. So that initial data, reset of initial data and delete initial load is also possible. If initial load is not satisfactory, and if any documents are not matching, or mapping is incorrectly mapped, and the report is not comparing, so you can reset, and you can delete also, and you can reload again a number of times. Okay, now error handling. So initially, in general, for initial period, we will get the errors, like it could be any error. It could be the cost object master data error, or it could be the transaction data error, or it could be the wrong mapping, or it could be. So we can do those in error handlings. So errors from replication scenarios are handled in SAP AIF tool in Central Finance. While document replication in Central Finance, due to multiple reasons, document may not be posted in Central Finance, and those errors or issues needs to be handled. Those errors can be corrected with SAP AIF tool, which allows errors to assign to different users. Alters can be set up, error reporting can be made. And these errors can be displayed in SAP Central Finance system using and -FCF transaction code. So that is a AFIF log screen or portal to see all these errors. And you can manage the AIF content in Central Finance system manually using the AIF content extract. And using transaction AIFX error and web, you can monitor and handle the replicated errors and set up alerts also. Like error handling Central Finance emergency correction mode. If you want to use emergency correction mode in AIF, other object AIF needs to be assigned to user, and user can directly change the values in AIF tool itself, and you can repost the documents with the changed values. Like for example, in ECC, if you are doing anything, instead of if you want any urgent correction, we will open the production system and we will do correction in production system itself without bringing the data from the downgrade system. Sometimes we'll do. If you get any production ticket, if you don't have the time, the business due to business importance, sometimes we won't do data and configuration, and we won't bring through transport request to production. We don't have much time. Immediately we will open the production client and we will do it. Sometimes we have to do. In that also is available in the in the AF that they're calling it. It's called emergency correction mode, and at the same time. The serialization of erroring of account documents and accounting documents, serialization of changes means documents should post in correction sequence in finance. For example, reverse documents should not post without the original documents being posted. So serialization, first original document has to be posted, then a reverse document has to be posted. The same way it will be maintained in the error. At the same time, AIF correction report will be scheduled for every 6 hours to update the errors. So can we stop here? Half a mark.
Satish, just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think you can complete in 15 minutes, or you?
I don't think so. That it will be possible, sir. There is not much.
Number one. Number two, is anybody having any questions at this point?
Yes.
Please, please ask the questions first.
Hi, I have a question. Yeah, go ahead, Aparna.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Regarding this AIF error correction, you said that we can do modifications in Central Finance itself, right? So if source system is sending data and we are mapping that data in Central Finance, same transaction, whatever the data we are getting it from the source systems, we are posting it, we are maintaining it in the Central Finance.
Correct.
To do the consolidation and all. If you are doing any corrections in Central Finance, how you are going to send back the data to? Are you going to send back the data to source system?
No, we're not going to send that. That's what I'm saying. Only the Central Finance only collects the data and processes and replicates. Maybe only if source system is SAP system, maybe the document got posted or successfully posted or not. Only that information we're sending back, but not the complete information or the Central Finance system document number. Nothing. We are not sending back to the source system as of now in this version. In 1909.
In that case, how the consistency will happen between the source system and the...
That's why. That lot of comparison reports are available. I am showing in the next screens. Lot of comparison reports are there in a Central Finance system. So what is the data in the source system? What is the data in the Central Finance system? So there is a comparison reports are there. So you have to compare those reports. If any data is miscompared, then you have to revisit your key mappings and you have to get reposted.
But if it is a source system is a non-SAP system, how SAP can handle that?
So anyway, you are collecting the data first. First of all, you are collecting the data through SAP SLT. So those data available here. That is the source system data. After processing, you are posting the Central Finance document. That information available in your AC Docker table. So system compares the data. Anyway, mapping itself, you are mapping, correct? While doing mapping itself, you are mapping. You are mapping the GL accounts, you are mapping the fiscal period, you are mapping the company code, you are mapping the all the organizational objects you are mapping. So your Central Finance system and SAP SLT server has the two data, your source data and processed data. So that's why system has, I think I have documented around 10 to 15 comparison reports are available.
Okay,
so
okay.
That will be shown care, taken care.
One more quick question.
Yes.
Is this Universal Journal itself is main part of the Central Finance, or we have any other pieces which are?
A lot of features are there, sir, in Central.
No, not features.
Yeah.
Where Universal Journal itself is in it, what that ad hoc, no?
Yes, sir.
That itself is ad hoc, or it is something else? AD doc.
AC Docker is the main table.
AC doc, yeah. AC doc A.
Yeah.
It itself is Central Universal Journal is nothing but AC doc A, correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So Satish, one more question.
Yes, Aparna.
Yeah. Suppose if I want to move 4 systems, okay. I want to consolidate 4 systems into Central Finance, 4 source systems. 3 source systems are normal non-SAP. One is SAP system.
Yes.
So if it is SAP system, we can compare, that is compatible with Central Finance, because we are going to have the same structure, same company code and everything. But if it is non-SAP systems, suppose there are having for one source system is having 50 company codes.
Yes.
Are we going to create same 50 company codes in the Central Finance?
If you want the same 50 company codes to be posted in the target system, yes, or 10 company codes into one company code in the target system, that also fine. So yes, how you want your source documents to be in Central Finance system, that can be possible. Even if it is 50 company documents, 50 company codes need to be 50 company codes in target system, it is possible. Or 10 company out of 50 company codes of data in target system as 5 company codes as data, it is possible. Yes.
Okay. And one more question. Suppose 2 non-SAP systems we are having. Okay. I want to do reporting from source system only, but from consolidation report, I need to get it from the Central Finance.
Yes, you can.
Individual reports, I have to do it from my source system.
Yes. Anyway, if you want to use you can use as earlier your source system data reporting.
No, my question is not complete. Actually, if you are moving 2 company codes data, are we going to create only single company code? Suppose there are 2 sister concern companies. Okay, I want to consolidate the data in the Central Finance. So I don't want to maintain individual company codes in that. And how you are going to do that mapping?
So if I'm correctly understand your question, in your source system you have 2 company codes, correct?
Yes.
So in
No, I'm having 2 source systems.
Okay.
Each is having individual company codes.
Yes.
But by sending the data to Central Finance, I want to combine that data in Central Finance.
That also possible. Just only thing in key mapping, you have to do the source system number and target system company code. Source system 1, source system 2. So for source system 1 or source system data 2, data can be posted to the target system company code 1.
Okay.
That is also possible.
It is just based on the mapping, Parna.
Yeah.
It's just based on mapping.
Yeah.
That's also possible.
Yes, Satish, on
Yes.
this error handling thing.
Yes.
See, if it is, I think, if I have to say this, see, if there is an error in the source, say for example in the traditional ECC in BIB, and then the downstream being the BW and all, they can't directly, change something there and send it back. That there is no such mechanism, right?
Correct.
It has to always start from the source and go to the target.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure you can't send it back that way. It has to start from here only.
Yes. So if first of all the source system document doesn't if the source system document doesn't valid document, then SAP server doesn't allow. First of all, SL server doesn't allow.
It's not that way. See, if it is, if I have to put it in a very blunt way, if there's some error, the way it is not, see, it's all on the what you configure here, and in there you're not replicating exact scenario. It can error out on the target, right?
Correct.
So then you have to change the source also.
Maybe that maybe
Rajni, maybe sorry Satish, can I interrupt you for a second?
No problem. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Rajni, I guess what you are asking is like there is some issue in the source system. You want to still transfer the data from source system to target. Am I correct? So here the thing is like if there is some problem in the source system, definitely that is not valid data.
Yes.
Only valid data you can transform into source system, target system. It is just based on the just whatever your map.
No. What you said is absolutely right. I'm saying that if there is a error which is identified in the target, see in source system, there is a debit and there is a credit, so it's a valid document. It went there. And earlier Satish was telling that there is a reconciliation and a correction is possible backwards and all. I'm saying on that.
No, Rajni, what Satish said is like there is no backward sending data. The thing is, if there is any issue identified while transforming the data, while sending the data, you can correct the data and post it. For example, like the cost center, whatever they mentioned in the source system is, for example, is supposed to be 1008. Instead of 1008, they might have entered 1008 five digits instead of 4 digits, 5 digits. Then it will throw an error. Then you can go and correct that error.
Yes.
No, then the document itself is not posted, right, Murli? It won't be posted.
No. Sometimes when you are sending data, something will happen. Like, somebody might have opened the file or something they might have done. Or else sometimes the junk characters they might have entered and which cannot be transformed. That time it will throw an error. For example, like there is some ASCII character in the source system that is recognized in the source system, whereas that ASCII character is not recognized in SAP.
Yeah, Murali, I think Rajni question is totally different.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
Yeah, it was asked.
Rajni is telling. Yeah, go ahead, Aparna.
Okay, if any error happens in Central Finance, not in the source system data is correct. Well, you replicated that data and you send that data to Central Finance. The data was transmitted correctly, but you found that in Central Finance they need some correction. Are we going to send back the data to that document to source system, or are you going to correct it in the Central Finance?
Correct in Central Finance, you are not going to send back, and mapping you are going to correct for next flow.
Yes.
Yes, it will be corrected in the destination system. You have to correct in the mapping, or else you need to analyze and you have to fix that.
I believe such processes would come up in Central Finance is matured enough, because in BW we have that retrofit,
Yes.
That is possible in BW systems. You correct the data and go back and send back the data to the source system, and the source system can handle that top of it, provided you have the proper configuration for it.
Sir, like
same way, Central Finance also must be having such features. At this point, it has or not, I'm not sure. That maybe we can discuss.
So this is not a data engine, sir. It is collecting the process. This is only one-way correction. This is collecting the data and replicating. It is not like a normal data transfer between the systems.
Got you. In that case, what you are suggesting, Satish, what we are thinking as an expert, what you can say is, okay, if you correct something in Central Finance, go and correct in the source system also.
Perfect.
Same transaction update you need to be provided.
Yes.
A correction document, like adjustment document, whatever. Yes. At this point, I agree on that. But in the future, there will be some.
Maybe we can.
So in BW, it started in very recently, about 4 or 5 years ago. Everything will come up actually. At the end of it, more and more people are using SAP has to provide, or people will find the ways. Yeah, sorry.
I think Murali is asking something. I think Murali or someone.
Yeah, Satish is me. Yes. My first question is like, in slide 10, you were talking about like a COPA document creation for the source documents. Like in the source system, definitely will not have COPA, but in Central Finance, we have COPA. So like, apart from the regular configuration, whatever we'll do for COPA, do we need to do anything extra? Like I know about mapping, but apart from mapping and extra normal regular configuration, do we need to do anything?
But we need to do the operating concern and COPA characteristics and value fields. We need to do in Central Finance system also.
Yeah, I agree. Like apart from
that only you have to do. And at the same time, there is a configuration path is here in the, I think, around 4 to 5 steps, assignments and mapping, that also you need to do if you want to take COPA document in Central Finance system.
Okay. Yeah. And the next question is like deletion of initial load. Like if there are some errors occurred while transforming the data, we can delete the initial load. Correct. So I guess the deletion load is only before making postings in ACDOCA, right?
Exactly. Whatever the testing, because I think there is a setup is called, I think productive data, some production data is there, some check mark is there.
That is like asset accounting. Yes.
So until if you don't check until that time, you can do whatever number test. Once you are ready with the data, once you put the data, you cannot delete the data.
Yeah, and
ECC also if you go to the VB 6 transaction productive data, similar like that. If you put productive data, some sensible information we can't change. Similar like setup, definitely I think it might be there, because I could not able to recollect, but I did only one project, and most of the time our time went for the configuration testing. Most of the errors we collected, I think. But Naga shared one document. I think that document might be have the more information, because those are for the certification exam, and it has the path by SP or path by configuration is available. I guess maybe we can get the answer from that document. Definitely.
Yeah. The next one is sorry, I'm asking multiple questions. Yeah. We have, for example, say 20 SAP systems and 20 non-SAP systems. We are sending data from all the 40 systems into Central Finance.
Yes.
So we'll have the identification, for example, like SAP one or source one or something like that, right? For identify. So in the ADOCA table. So even in ECC also, in the document header, we can update the source system or reference or something like that. So we here also, we do have anything?
So the reference columns are there. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So will it be? Yeah. Will it be like alphanumeric or something different?
Alphanumeric, like how you are seeing the logical system number, the source system number is available there in the logical system. Number is available.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Definitely
the document number ranges we need to set up, and we need to have those document number ranges in Central Finance also.
Yes. So the SAP table will have some source document information, not all the one, but definitely some important fields SAP table will have.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it is very difficult for to
reconciling
know which one is the real document or which one we got directly posted to Central Finance. Yes. Yeah. So the data mapping, I think we will cover very fast. So organizational data, master data, posting periods, document types, what are the data required we need to be configured here. And the business actor identifiers, mapping of SAP customer ID, SAP vendor number, SAP ID will be handled by SAP master data key mapping function. If you want to use SAP master data system for your master data person, you can use. Otherwise, manually you can create and map it. And codes, mapping of company codes, business areas, country code will be handled by SAP MDG. Short living cost objects can be handled in Central Finance systems. For example, internal orders and production orders. Normally in our SAP ECC, we will be calling as the organizational object, but in Central Finance, they're calling it a short living cost objects, because in very less transactions will use our internal orders and production orders. So they're calling it a short living cost objects that directly can be handling in Central Finance system. Yeah. And this is if you see that this is a business pattern mapping. Just I have taken the screenshots.
Question.
Yes, please.
Can you go to previous one? Yeah. You said that production orders it's not a financial data, right?
Yes.
As you said earlier, sales orders, production orders, purchase orders, information will not be flow to Central Finance.
Yes.
But here you are saying that short living cost objects can be.
Internal orders and production orders is the cost objects, sir. Those are the cost objects, correct? Like WBS elements, cost centers, those are the cost objects, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Internal orders and production orders can be all cost objects can be handled by Central Finance.
Okay. Only the cost object data.
Exactly.
Okay.
Basically, cost object doesn't mean that it is complete production order data. That's what the difference is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is business partner mapping. What is the business partner mapping, and what is the serial number? What is the system ID or system ID object ID? Like this is the one of the things. Like what is your source side or source system or system ID number, and business partner type. Whether business partner is a customer or vendor. Then what is the object ID like that? And this one. We have a lot of skins are available. This is a company code mapping. Like object code. The object code is BU is company code. So what is the internal company code value? ZJCL is a Central Finance company code, but it could be if in the normal in the non-SAP or source system, it could be ZMCL. So if you post any document in ZMCA1, those documents will get replicated with company code ZJC1 in Central Finance system. So this type of everything you need to map it. How you want to map it, or you can map 1 to n or n to 1 is possible. And this is cost object mapping, like the scenario, what is scenario destination cost center, and what is the table name, master data, and what is the source subject in the production order, source subject production order in central what is the production cost collector, and is N2 1 or something like. So we can map it to production costs, production orders, production cost collectors, internal orders, maintenance orders, and QM orders. Earlier in the 1809, I don't think these are the availables. I think in 1909, I think these are the newly added features, bringing of the maintenance orders, QM orders, because anyway, those are also cost objects. And so GL account mapping. So inaccurate GL account mapping can lead to errors during replication. So for this reason, GL account settings of mapped GL accounts in the central finance system. So
hey, Satish, sorry to stop you. I think we overboarded. I think if you are starting a new, area.
Yeah.
Can we do it next week?
Yeah,
Again, talk to the team.
I think most of the screens, I think very less screens are there. I think.
Go ahead.
I will complete it maybe in next 10 minutes maximum. Okay.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I think GL accounts mapping we need to do. PL accounts need to be source system. PL accounts maps to be target also in PL accounts, and open item manager GL accounts in the source system must be mapped to open item GL in the central finance system. So it has to be proper mapping and in the source and target systems, and COPA mapping. So you can map several operating concerns in the source system to each operating concern in the central finance system. You can define mappings for the characteristics and the value fields for each pair. Characteristics and value fields should be done separately. If the customized characteristics or value fields are changed either the source system or central finance system, you can use the single button. For example, if your source system is SAP and SAP is using COPA, in central finance you have COPA. So if in source system COPA, if you do any changes in the characteristics or value fields, by clicking the sync structure, it will sync the both systems. So that is also pausing in the COPA mapping. And central payments. As I said that with this feature, the vendor and customer open items and invoices are replicated from source system, can be paid or cleared centrally in SAP S4 HANA system instead of clearing in the source system. That is also possible in the central payment system, but that configuration need to be done. And central payments functionality, distribution landscape, receivables and payables, everything. SAP in-house cash banks, how to do that with. And central projects like WB settlement projects, that also can be possible. And this is the illustration how it will be sort of say how to map the source system and central finance system for the central projects. That is purely mapping, and finally ultimately it will post a universal journal entry ultimately. And this is you can map the down payments also. Anyway, that is also one of the payment, so you can map the down payments. If you see the source system sales order, in central finance system there is no sales order, but the down project request is there. So here also the down payment request can be created, so that there is a sequence of mapping is there in there, so you can do that also. You can pay the down payment. After then you can adjust. That also can be adjusted in the central finance system, other than the sales order. So tax consistency check. For example, if source document is A0, if you want to that A0 needs to be A10 in the target system, that also possible by activating the tax consistency check. The one engine is there. By activating that engine, system will that is also mapping. Again, you have to do the mapping between taxes, and you can do that mapping also here. And whatever the relevant tables will be there. This is asset account document. Asset account documents or source system cannot be replicated in central finance as a subledger. Asset accounting is a subledger in source system, but it is not a subledger in central finance system. For example, but those documents will be replicated as a general ledger documents, means asset reporting can be done in source system and financial reporting can be done in central finance. So only problem with 1909 is asset reporting is not possible, since central finance was designed only for the financial reporting. So, but if you post any asset acquisition or asset scrapping, whatever the entry, but other than asset entry, only debit credit with the 40 or 50 will be replicated in central finance. So, asset reporting can be done in source system, but financial reporting can be done in the central finance system. That is a one area. Maybe in future it can be corrected. So these asset accounts in the source system, asset accounts in the central finance system. As I said, it could be the general document of the asset document replication in the central finance. This is a COPA. So we know that the COPA. COPA is one of the object because if you want to give a flavor of S4 HANA document with COPA for the source document, you have to done the configuration in the COPA. So earlier in ECC we have the two types of COPA, or casting based COPA and account based COPA. But in S4 HANA, by default account based COPA will be by default will be activated. And at the same time, if you want to use the casting based COPA, but SAP is not going to be support. Like option to choose the casting based COPA is also available, but no additional enhancements are supported by SAP. So by default, you have to go to the casting based COPA. So these are the difference between the casting based COPA and the margin analysis. So that means margin analysis is nothing but account based COPA. So these are the features between the casting. Anyway, I will after the meeting I will share this PDF. I will share this document so you can go through the further. So these are the COPA options in S4 Central Finance, SAP ECC with costing based COPA by SLT and S4 HANA with the margin analysis like that. And if you see this one, these are the new application. You can see in the S4 HANA system, casting based COPA, account based COPA, and combined COPA. Combined COPA is the combination of casting based and account based. Or if you want to only combine, you can do. Or you want to combine and casting based, you can do. Or you want the account based and combine, you can do. But that is purely your business decision, what type of COPA they want to use. And at the time, KEPSL is the transaction code to configure the operating concern in the S4 HANA or Central Finance. So these are the casting based COPA in ECC 6.0, it is a maintenance mode. S4 HANA 16.0, it is a maintenance mode, but in 19.9.0, it is not available. Simplified COPA. They're calling it they're calling account based COPA. They're calling it is a simplified COPA. So there is COPA only. Then they changed the name. Instead of account based COPA, they changed it as a simplified COPA because it has simplified with the both options, so it is simplified. So anyway, the ECC 6.0 it won't available. S4 HANA available for subsequent environment. S4 HANA available. This is the Central Finance configuration path. It will be in the real-time system it will be available in the financial accounting in Central Finance, and you have all the configuration steps, data mapping, key mapping you have to do in these two rows only. Source systems, what is the source system logic, RFC destination, what is the logical ID number, that mainly source systems configuration will be taken care by the basis administrator. The target system settings like mapping, key mapping, data mapping, everything is included in the data target system. So those only two nodes are the configuration part in the Central Finance system. Only two nodes, and that will be under the financial accounting path. These are the system list of configuration activities. What you to do: the general application settings, the profit center settings, define accounts for applications. These are the systems, and you need to do the activity of tax consistency. And these are the target systems, like what are the defined in decimal places, on handling reconciliation accounts or substitution original accounts, cost object mapping, define key and value mapping, and define COPA mapping. These are the steps. And these are the additional functions in Central Finance. You can add additional information to the document during data transfer in SAP Central Finance using body underscore fin under Central Finance document. From the, for example, if you want to add additional information in your source document, you can add it. This body can be used in source system during data transfer from source system to target systems. Target transfer customer specific COPA fields, you can transfer customer specific fields for FI document, it is possible. Transfer customer specific fields in profit center account, it is possible. So these are some of the terminologies. I think we came last stages. SL, S4 HANA, S-Suite, S4 HANA system, source system, target system, AIF, it is the application interface framework for the error handling. SLD is the system landscape directory to maintain your source systems. That is called SLD. These are the important reports. I think a lot of reports are there. As I said that these are the one of the CFIN underscore fins underscore dev FI doc is the line item comparison with source and target. I think my understanding around 40 reports are there for the comparison reports. At the same time, initial load comparison is also available. some of the important programs for the mapping entities and see, and you can cross-check the mappings, whether it's perfect or not. And these are the important transaction codes. A lot of codes are available, but I documented very few transaction codes. But I think recently, I think Murli also has shared some documents to the group. I think that has some information. So my presentation is over for this. Just I thought I have given some overview. What is the Central Finance, what is possible and what is not possible like that. This is not a configuration session like that.
Satish, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this Central Finance system, like it is a separate system. It is not similar to S4 HANA. It is. I mean, there should be some addition. Like, do we need to have separate system, or else do we need to activate some business functions? Or else,
yeah. If in existing system, for example, you have S4 HANA system, you want to use in the existing S4 HANA system as a Central Finance system, you need to activate that. I think I have said in one of the screen some business functions not active. Or if you want to keep separate Central Finance system as a separate independent system for only consolidate reporting, that is better. That is possible. So as of now, I think whatever the companies, I think Amazon, Google, they are using this system as a separate system for consolidated reporting system.
okay. Yeah. You answered. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Satish. Thank you very much for all your efforts and time.
No man.
Yeah. Yeah. We are blessed.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you, Satish.
Hey, we started on Independence Day. We are going to get independence from today because of knowledge.
But credit goes to Satish and the team. I don't know. I know Satish initiated this, and thank you, Surendra, for adding me to this group.
Yeah. Thanks, Murli. I think Satish, we can stop recording, then we can discuss few minutes if anything needs to be discussed.